A virgin or a wife?
Mm-hmm.
Well, fuck.
I know. Which one are you? Andrew! Montgomery Burns joins us this day.
In memory of Montgomery Burns, who's still alive, surprisingly.
So. Clean out my nose. Okay, Montgomery. In my past life,
Yes.
as a Catholic.
Boo. Catholicism is a disease. Where did you grow up?
Philly.
In Philadelphia. It's a terrible epidemic. Please donate.
Donate to the cause. Buy me
Yeah.
fucking dinner. It'd be great.
Just because someone says they don't want kids doesn't mean they won't end up having them.
Especially because of people like this. This is a perfect segue. So, Arlene Spenceley wrote a book that I really liked back when I was in purity culture.
Who's Irene Spenceley?
Arlene Spenceley is a purity culture writer in conservative Catholic circles who wrote a book that I bought and tried to live by because I liked it better than Christopher West's.
Who's Christopher West?
Oh, I'm so glad you don't remember. We watched a video of him. He was.
We did.
Remember when I showed you Father Mike Schmitz, the guy who thinks he's super hot shit? And
Yeah,
I showed you him that day too.
Oh, that we didn't even finish?
Yeah, the one we clicked away from.
Okay.
So I thought Arlene Spenceley was more credible than him at the time, and I also identified as a woman at the time.
A woman.
A woman.
A whammon.
Yes, I was a 38-year-old virgin on my wedding day, and some people are asking great questions, like this one. How were you able to wait for your spouse and not fall into anxiety or distrust God? My answer is the caption. Would you like to know?
Yes, I would love to know.
I lived a lot of different stages in my dating years, and the emotions I felt ran the gamut from eager to meet my husband, to frustrated by the fact that it wasn't happening, to mad that the men I dated looked good on paper but turned out to be terrible for me.
Most men.
I purposely took a break from dating for a couple years before I met my husband, and with the help of prayer, spiritual direction, counseling, aging, and time.
Aging yeah.
And time.
Aging and time. Oh, shit, yeah, because those are different.
Yeah. I reached a point where I felt neutral. I could see myself becoming a wife, and I could see myself becoming a consecrated virgin. No.
That sounds
like
dirty.
A consecrated virgin or a wife.
Or a wife.
Those are the two options.
A virgin or a wife?
Mm-hmm.
Well, fuck.
I know. Which one are you? I deserve a bowl for that. That was good.
Hell yeah. Which one are you?
Sorry, Arlene. Neither of us is women. And neither of us is virgins, that's for goddamn sure. I did the whole virgin get married thing. I did it. And I read your book, Arlene. I lived by your particular interpretation. Well, that's a lot. That's so keefy.
I'm not doing the
okay,
whole
good.
thing.
Good. Just in case you zoned out. Show the camera the keef in your palm.
My queef.
Your queef. It's like matcha.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's gonna be lit
baby.
forever. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Good thing we're getting it on camera. And then you're talking about religion. Let's go.
Woo! You know, there was a time, a year or two ago, where I couldn't think about religion while high.
Oh, that's so sad. I wish I was high when I thought about religion growing up. But, so I did. I've been high for a long years.
We are all either wives or virgins.
Oh, yes. Either
including the boys.
Which, yeah, exactly. Especially the boys.
Especially
You're either a virgin or a wife.
You're a pussy either way, though.
Everyone's got one of those.
Except for that time I said that next to somebody whose mother actually had to have like a gastric bypass surgery and like literally doesn't have a butthole.
Okay, almost everyone has a butthole.
I know, I felt
But
so
everybody
guilty.
does poop.
Yeah, yes, okay. That doesn't mean they all have a pussy though.
No.
Almost everyone has a pussy. It doesn't have the same punch
if
as...
you got an orifice, you gotta Ussy.
Use a fuss.
You got a
Ussy.
or fussy.
You got a ussy.
Or fussy.
Mussy. It's a mouth.
Mussy.
Someone's got a mussy.
Moissy.
Someone without a mouth is like, hey. I wasn't leaning in either direction. I was finally content with whatever God wanted. And I camped out there for a little while until my spiritual director said I needed at some point to take action. Spiritual director is like a therapist.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, do you pay this
unqualified.
person?
I don't know, but I never had one. So I started looking into consecrated virginity.
Consecrated?
Consecrated.
Consecrated.
Yeah, like sworn for life. Sworn for life virginity. I just started looking into it. It's just so sad.
Yeah, it is.
I've thought about becoming a nun. I thought about it all the time. Because I was like, I'll never get laid. So I'll just become a nun.
That is so sad.
When I was like 19, 20.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I know.
I was thinking like 8th grade.
Oh, hun. I fucking wish. But anyway. And I was still thinking about consecrated virginity when somebody tried to set me up with a local Catholic guy. I had to really discern whether to give a guy a chance or stay focused on consecrated virginity. I decided to go on the date. Yo.
You hoe.
We know. Somebody only writes a book about how to avoid having sex if they really want to have sex. And I know this because I thought about also writing a book. Oh, she loves him. They're best friends. Had a great time on the date. Day or two later, I find out my guy doesn't think he wants to date me.
I wonder why.
Oh no! He's Catholic. He's saving himself too.
Yeah, I know. If you're that bad, then you gotta you a nun, honey. You a nunny.
I used to be. I was a nunny. My reaction to this was much different than it would have been years earlier. I didn't feel like I needed to convince him of my worth. I felt no sense of urgency to change the situation, just neutral. And 2 days later, in line for confession at my church's parish mission, I met the man I would later marry. So a different guy? I thought it was like the same guy.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be the same guy.
If she had decided to date the guy that she had gone on a date with, she wouldn't have run into this other guy.
You could have just said, I was at the confessional one day.
Right.
You didn't have to have a whole backstory of why the fuck you were at the confessional.
Well, her whole thing is about how she wrote the book while she was still waiting for marriage. Like, she just got married. Like, within the past, I don't know, 6 months or a year or two maximum. She hasn't written a book about sex yet. Although, I'm sure that's coming. It's just like those sisters, which Arlene Spencer should check out. They did. And I'm hoping Arlene does better too, because this is
fucking bullshit.
I was gonna say it's sad. And I know it's sad because I lived it, and it is fucking sad. And it made me want to get married at all costs. And
I just wanted the dress. I fucking love my wife.
I loved the dress. Oh my god.
Oh, I
love my husband too, yeah. It was so fun to try them on though.
It was. Yeah.
I did an Amazon haul and FaceTime all my bridesmaids that were available and tried them on for them.
Oh,
yeah.
I just tried them on for my mom and no, just my mom.
That's nice.
And I said, find the sparkliest shit you got, and she did.
Oh yeah.
And then we said, you got anything cheaper? And then we found one.
That's awesome. Arlene and this boy had gone to the same mass every Sunday for 2 or 3 years, but never spoken. And now I can say, and so would he, that if we had met literally any sooner, it wouldn't have worked.
Why is that? Does she clarify on that?
Is it different the day before and the day after?
Yeah, because you were interested in someone else, so you would have been like, oh, hey, buddy, what's up? You friend zone automatically because I'm interested in someone else. And then you get dumped, and then you're just like, oh! Then he comes back to you anyway. So it's, no, you're wrong.
It's just meant to be. And, I definitely have thought things like that a lot. And I definitely think there are, cool coincidences and, things line up and whatever. But I'm not, actually into, star charts and stuff. It's just,
Yeah, it's fun to look at. Yeah.
It's a fun way to
it's
process
I
your
can
emotions.
relate that. Or,
yes.
oh, that's so me,
Yeah.
You see yourself in something.
Exactly. And sometimes it's really helpful to imagine things that way. But I don't think that I'm actually a witch. Unless you go by the fact that there was never any witches and it was just, a bunch of autistic AFABs. But I would have been burned at birth because of my third nipple, because it was used to suckle the devil.
I'm mixed. I'm also epileptic, so that was also a thing.
Yeah, they would have definitely thought you had needed an exorcism.
Yeah. Well, I do need exercise, but that's just rude.
Exorcism.
Like, oh no, it's a witch. Bitch, go lift some weights. Go jump rope. The volleyball is that way.
I think for most of us, it will take our entire lives to totally trust God in every context.
We don't need to. I got married.
But I have learned
before you
that all those years of disappointment, all those years of waiting for sex, were actually very necessary for making my marriage possible. In other words, you both had to be desperate enough to need each other. That's what, like, you're admitting that. Like,
so it's like two high schoolers. I was just a hoe in high school.
It's good.
Still, yeah.
Very good. I will never claim this is easy, what you're going through if you're still dating and a virgin. Marriage won't be easy either. But I can tell you for sure that your wait is not in vain. So I commented, right? Y'all know deep down that this feels wrong. I have experienced 0 negative side effects from having the sex I wanted. My only regret is not having had the ability to develop my sexuality. It severely damaged my relationship with sex. And Arlene says, no deep down feeling that it's wrong here. No regrets. And also no judgment. I'm not here to persuade anybody to save sex, or sex from now on, but I am here to help the people who'd like to do that and to prove that it's possible. If you're willing to discuss further, though, how do you define developing your sexuality? And I assume when you say it severely damaged your relationship with sex, the it you're referencing is
God.
A season when you intentionally were saving sex for marriage? Is that accurate? No, it was God. What was the damage? I have heard a lot of stories over the years and had conversations with people who, and now she makes an assumption about my experience, saved sex, got married as virgins, and were overcome with shame or guilt after sex, or had painful sex and had no idea it was fixable, etc. A common thread I've seen among them is that having sex isn't what did the damage, but actually did the damage was the fact that none of them were taught the virtue of chastity. They were taught abstinence, which isn't synonymous with chastity.
Wait, abstinence and chastity are two different things?
No, because chastity, your heart is in the right place. Abstinence is just, I won't do it. They're very different.
Honey!
The psychological fucketry?
Honey!
She wrote a book!
Honey!
I read your book. Your definition of chastity was my definition of chastity.
Honestly, they're just two very exotic names to me. Chastity and what was the other one?
Abstinence.
Oh
my god, we need to make little devils that sit on our shoulders. Chastity and abstinence.
No, we have to get hamsters. And then chastity and abstinence.
What is happening?
We could just get one hamster and put a mirror on the... And then we're like, the one in the little circle is abstinence. The other one is chastity.
And nearly all of them had parents, teachers, or youth ministers who taught them very little about sex, and what they taught in a lot of cases wasn't even true. Like, it's bad. The rage I feel when I find out about that, ooh, angry face.
Wait, what?
None of the things that she's assuming have had... I mean, I did have parents who taught me very little about sex, but then I took psychology of sexuality.
Yeah.
And learned a lot about sex by myself. You know?
Yeah. But you shouldn't have to do that.
I shouldn't have to.
You should have been taught by the schools.
I was fully informed by the time I did finally have sex for the first time. So I said the damage done was not that I felt shame or guilt. It was that I didn't know enough about holding space for another person, managing my own emotions, finding out what I like in bed, all kinds of stuff. The virtue of chastity was drilled into me from childhood, and I bought and read your book to try to convince myself that it was what I wanted. But it wasn't what I wanted, and I wish I had followed what my body wanted. My relationship with sex would be way better. I appreciate your good intentions, but chastity culture, purity culture, whatever, is doing genuine, deep psychological damage to so many. And the it I'm referencing is religion and the policing of our bodies, no matter how sugar-coated the message is. Okay.
Good. And she responded. Bless you.
Thank you. Look at that eyeball. You just teasing.
Just teasing.
Lauren.
The diaper butt.
The diaper butt is the best fucking part. What are they called? Bloomers. Sorry, early.
Bloomers.
Totally fine. Thanks.
I mean, hex you. Continue.
Okay. So, like, this is where I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt that she's trying to be nice, but I think it veers into condescension well before this point, frankly, but, like, I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt because it doesn't benefit me to just kind of rat on somebody, but, like, also it's like, oh my god. She says, thank you so much for sharing more. It's so painful when you were taught to expect one thing, but your experience of it doesn't fulfill the expectation.
What are you saying? You did it wrong?